Rob, what is our fourth main topic today?
John, our fourth main topic comes from the Geeky Neighbor. It's funny what a difference a couple of days makes. Not long ago, it didn't look like DC or Marvel would be doing anything at ComicCon this year, and now both of them are. Warner Brothers has announced their lineup with one massive missing piece: Flash. I guess it's not surprising that it would be there, since there's no way to talk about the movie right now without the topic of Ezra Miller coming up. What do you think about this decision to leave the Flash out?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in Geeky Neighbor. And okay, yes, a couple of days changes a lot of perception. You know, it was just a few days ago that me, Jonathan, and Ray, we were sitting in my office and we were discussing Comic-Con. And like the value of it, should we go, all that kind of stuff.
I was there too.
Oh, that's right, you were there. I forgot about that. So Rob was there too. And we were talking about it, and one of the things we always say is like, no one's going. Warner Brothers isn't going to be there. That we knew at the time. Marvel's not going to be there. Yada, yada, yada. Well, fast forward a few days, Marvel is going to be there. And now Warner Brothers is going to be there. And it looks like they're bringing a good DC lineup as well, according to the reports. Except for Flash. Now, maybe there's a legitimate, innocent reason for that. This comes to us from the folks at the Hollywood Reporter, and they wrote the following. As for Warner's theatrical division will bring, those plans are still being hashed out, according to multiple insiders. The studio has a number of DC films due out later this year, including DC's League of Super Pets, Black Adam, and Shazam, Fury of the Gods, which opens in July, October, and December, respectively. These could all make appearances. Movies that are to open in 2023, such as Flash and Blue Beetle, will not have panels, regardless of their presence, as they are considered too far out for any panel to have a meaningful impact. That comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. All right. I have no doubt that the reporter at the Hollywood Reporter was told by a rep at Warner Brothers, oh, you know, Flash is too far out. It's too far out.
Sure.
There's no point at this juncture to bring it along. Okay.
Makes sense.
Except 2 years ago, you had a big Flash thing at DC Fandom. Now, granted, the movie was going to come out a little bit earlier, but still, you talked about it a lot at DC Fandom. You talked about it a lot the following year, and it is closer than Blue Beetle coming out. Blue Beetle, I can buy that, but Flash theoretically is much closer than that. Listen, while the official word is, oh yeah, Black Adam, Flash, yeah, we could be bringing those, but not Flash, just because it's too far away. There's no point in talking about that. Call me skeptical. I do not believe that for 1 second. I believe you ain't bringing Flash. I will not believe for a split second it has anything to do with anything other than we can't talk about Ezra Miller. This is an embarrassment for us right now. There is no way for us to talk about Flash without the entire conversation immediately turning to, you can't find me, I'm in another universe, pulling his best John Cena. You can't see me. It just is what it is. And look, from a PR perspective, I understand the statement.
Yeah.
You can't bring Flash, but you can't come out and publicly acknowledge, well, we can't bring it because Ezra's a national embarrassment and we don't know what to do about it yet, and that's why we're not bringing. You can't say that either. So the safest thing to say is either A, scheduling conflicts, which wouldn't fly for anybody, or say, it's too far off. Nah, that's why. That's why. And you know what? I get it. I'm not holding that against Warner Brothers saying that. That's what I would probably say if I was in their same shoes. But Rob, we are now starting to see the tangible effects of all the Ezra Miller drama. Because up until this point, it has all been theoretical. It's like, man, this is going to turn some people off the movie, and this is going to make it difficult to promote this film with all the Ezra stuff. But now we're seeing the actual tangible effect. They're going to Comic-Con, And they ain't going to bring this movie.
Nope.
And that right there is just the tip of the iceberg of the tangible effects we're going to see. But this is the first time. I mean, we've been talking about the Ezra drama for years, ever since he choked that girl. We've been talking about this for years. But this is the first time we're seeing it actually having a real impact on what they functionally can and cannot do. Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. You know, the one with the delightful ads with good Canadian kid Ryan Reynolds. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, that's no joke, because for years I've been using one of the major providers and it was fine. But I switched over to Mint Mobile a little while ago. The service has been fantastic. And the big difference is I'm now paying about 1/3 of what I was paying before. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. So Rob, let me throw this open to you and ask you, the first question would need to be, number one, am I being overly skeptical in saying that I don't buy their reason they're not bringing it? And am I wrong in it? Do you think I'm wrong in assuming that the reason they're not going to bring this to Comic-Con is because of the Ezra Miller drama? And if so, what does that tell you about the situation that they're in right now?
First of all, you're not wrong at all. I completely agree with you. Look, this situation with Ezra Miller has sort of become untenable from a studio PR standpoint. There's nothing they can do. You know, there's too many quotes. There's too many things. Look, Ezra Miller has done this to himself. I mean, he didn't just dig a hole. He dug the Grand Canyon for himself, and he's way at the bottom of it. And with his crazy social media posts, the more that this story comes out, the more information that's actually reported, the more police reports that we have access to.
The stranger it becomes.
The stranger it becomes, the weirder it becomes, and he seems like he needs help. But it also is getting to the point where most audiences are going to be put off by him personally, because there's no like, oh, but he's misunderstood. It's not like that. It's something more. So I think Warner Brothers is in a position. I think Warner Brothers is a little blindsided by all this anyway. You know, the transition over for Discovery and David Zaslav, we joke, but here's a very capable executive that's taking over Warner Brothers. They're trying to figure out how to run the entire studio. They don't need this kind of publicity headache. They know the movie's good. Apparently, we've heard it's actually a really good movie, so they know they don't have to worry about the film itself. But they've got this, unfortunately, this really big PR problem that hopefully can work itself out, or at least not be so raw now, where that's all anyone's going to talk about. I mean, there's no benefit to bringing this movie to Comic-Con now, no matter how good it is. Even if all you're going to do is show Michael Keaton as Batman, which they could. But if they're going to do that, they can't call it The Flash. The first question, if they only show Michael Keaton and they bring him out into Hall H, the first question someone's going to ask, Mr. Keaton,
what was it like working with Ezra?
That's what's going to happen. They can't do it. They can't do it.
Did he try to pay for you to go back to school, Michael Keaton? Did he invite you to come live with him in Hawaii, Michael Keaton?
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine?
I mean, and
what? Imagine putting Michael Keaton in that position.
Oh my God,
that's not fair either.
Talking about not being fair, and I was keeping my eye on the live chat too. A lot of people mentioning, man, this is so unfair to that. I forget the actress's name, but this young girl who got cast as Supergirl in a DC movie, and now all anybody's talking about is the drama. You're Michael Keaton, and you go, fine, I'll dust off the old bat suit and I'll come back.
Oh,
Michael
man.
Keaton didn't ask for this crap.
No.
Right?
And he probably brought it. I'm sure he gave it his all.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sure once he decided to put on the cowl and the cape again, he was all in. And I bet he's great in the movie.
Oh, I have no doubt he's great in the movie. No doubt about it. But
And then he gets this.
It brings up the thing again. Everybody has such strong opinions about what Warner Brothers should do. And I just don't think any of the answers are as simple as some people think they are. I mean, look, let's just quickly review here what their options are at this point. You just released the movie. The disadvantage of that is that a lot of people can be talking about the Ezra stuff. But one of the advantages of it is the movie may end up losing money, but you're going to get a lot more money back by putting it out than probably any of the other options. Right?
And if it's good,
Which we've heard it is.
Could be a hit.
Option 2, scrap the film altogether. That is an option. And David Zaslav strikes me as the type of guy who could possibly just say, this is not worth the headache that it is causing me. Kill it.
Oh.
But then you're taking a complete loss financially on that movie. So that's not really ideal, but it does excise the headache. 3, try to reshoot all the scenes with Ezra Miller. That's a very expensive endeavor.
And very difficult to pull off.
And from a practical point of view, you got to get everybody else back to shoot this thing. And it becomes very expensive and a difficult thing to pull off logistically.
Well, what's unfortunate too is that I think this movie really had a lot of other movies counting on it, which is probably the negative part about having everything connected, right? I think after this, the domino effect is going to be, we're just going to do standalones. So we don't have this sort of thing happening again, because you know what? There could have been I was looking forward to seeing Supergirl in this movie. Leave Flash aside and Michael Keaton's Batman. And I know that Michael Keaton is supposed to be in that Batgirl movie, right?
Yep.
So there's some connection there too. So this is what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket in one movie.
In one shared cinematic universe. But you raise a great point, Ray, because that's the other big drawback of just scrapping the movie. Well, there are apparently some other things coming in DC that are kind of contingent upon the events of that. So it's a complex, then the idea of just drop it on HBO. Just put it on HBO Max. You kind of get the same, you avoid the drawback of other films are kind of relying on it, but you get the drawback of, so you're just throwing every cent away that you invested in the movie. That's all now gone. And again, I think every one of those options has pros and cons.
Yeah.
I think right now my guess would be, this is my guess, what I think David Zaslav is going to do. I think they're just going to bite the bullet and put it in theaters. I think they're just going to put it out. There will be no press tour. There will be no junket. I think they're just going to drop it in theaters, let it happen. Once it leaves theaters, it'll go on HBO Max for a little bit. And then once it's been on HBO Max for a little bit, the official announcement will come out of HBO or Warner Brothers. Ezra Miller and us have decided to part ways.
Yep.
Again, I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm not saying I have insider information of that. I think just right now that seems to me to be what they're going to try to do. Ray, what were you going to say there?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, what happens whether this movie comes out or not? What happens with DC films after this? I mean, what do you think? Do you think they'll still try to go by this plan they had, or do they just start all over like the Batman? Because the Batman turned out well, right? Without being connected to anything.
The Batman, Joker, I mean, these all turned out great, but the problem is they've got films in the can. They got the Shazam movie in the can. They got the Batgirl movie in the can. They've got, it becomes a very sticky situation. And again, we are now just starting to see the actual effects of the stab wound is what we're seeing now. So it's going to be interesting to see how and where this things go. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The official word is they're not going to bring Flash because it's too far out. And hey, maybe I'm being overly pessimistic, and maybe that's true, but I don't buy it for a second.
I love that it is too far out.
It is too far out. It's very far out.
It's very far
How
out.
do you guys feel about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.